Dying in a video game has become so much of a spectacle that nowadays we are witnesses to various ways of biting the dust, and while some of them are truly moving and dramatic, others are purely odd, making no sense or being extremely out of order. Even though it might seem like a gloomy subject to be talking about, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 10 of the most bizarre video game deaths of all time. So sit back, relax, and see how some of our favourite characters met their weird end. Black Orchid's finishing move is so awkward that it leaves you with tons of questions and not a lot of answers. From all of the imaginable ways of dying in a video game, being killed by a character who flashes her boobs at her poor victim is most definitely not one of the methods that you'd expect somebody to use to kill you. Even though Killer Instinct is not as popular as its much flashier sibling Mortal Kombat, we still remember it fondly for some of the weirdest ways of killing off players. When the animalities were first introduced in Mortal Kombat, they looked like a good addition that could breathe new life into the old gameplay style. However, these new combat moves turned out to be downright hilarious at times. For example, Rain's special ability is to turn into a pygmy elephant and blow off the skin of his enemies. And if it doesn't crack you up, at least just a little bit, then we don't know what else could. Everybody knows that Conkers Bad Fur Day is a messed up video game that has lots of sexual innuendos and a totally disgusting song about poo. And on top of these crazy things, of course, there is a horrible way of dying by being drowned in, what else but poo? This is not only extremely gross, but totally bizarre too, if you think about the fact that somebody actually thought it would be a good idea to feature such a disturbing image in a colourful video game. This way of dying in a video game is not only strange, but also highly creative when you think about it. Cassie Cage's bubblegum fatality is very suggestively named Bubblehead. It's not only extremely spectacular, but it also makes you kind of cringe a little after witnessing it for the first time. Because seeing how bubblegum is used as a band-aid that should stop blood pouring out, but instead it transforms into a blood-filled bubble that will ultimately explode all over the place, just isn't right. Kissing a frog is normally associated with the happy ending where a princess transforms it into a Prince Charming and they live happily ever after. Not in Crash Bandicoot. Here you must avoid locking lips with a frog at all costs, because it will indeed turn you into a moderately handsome gentleman, but it will also cause your untimely death. Beware of the killer frog is the motto you should absolutely follow if you don't want to end up sleeping with the fishes. If you thought that only competitive or multiplayer games lack the pause feature, then you will be surprised to find out that Sonic CD has a very cruel way of punishing the players that step away from the computer for more than 3 minutes. If you decide to take a bathroom break that lasts longer than the aforementioned time limit, Sonic will jump off of the screen, simply uttering the words, "I'm outta here," and diving straight towards his unnecessary and preposterous death. An entirely lewd video game, Leisure Suite Larry puts the player through all kinds of kinky situations that can end up really well for the protagonist, or totally awful if we think about the possibility of dying due to a particularly nasty STD. The unlikely hero will then find out what it's like to have your crotch area expand and ultimately blow up. This particular case leading to the character's death because he got more than he bargained for from an over-generous lady, and for him that makes life no longer worth living. Even though chickens might not seem like totally inoffensive beings, in video games they turn into giant freaks, as in the case with Skyrim, or even worse, into bloodthirsty monsters that will stop at nothing when it comes to killing off their prey. In Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, a flock of such resentful birds could really end your life if you're caught by surprise and are not able to protect yourself from their selfish wrath. This death does not actually happen to the main character that is controlled by the player, but it was just too good to pass up. In the ancient game Madden 1992, the ambulance serves the exact opposite purpose than the one it was initially intended for. In short, it runs over injured people, instead of offering them first aid. This ironic turn of events had players laughing every time they saw the desperate ambulance appearing on the screen. In Super Smash Bros. And especially the Melee version, if you find yourself battling the adorable but very dangerous Yoshi, you'll be amazed to find out that you can actually end up swallowed by him and pooped out of the other side while encased in a dinosaur-spotted egg. This move does not necessarily instantly kill you, but if done right near the edge of the map, you will find yourself plunging to your death in egg form, and there's nothing that you can do about it. This was our list featuring 10 of the most bizarre game deaths of all time, and we hope you've enjoyed our video. If you did, please press that like button, as we do appreciate it and it helps us immensely. We often ask our audience for suggestions to compile these lists, and if you'd like to contribute, please follow Frag Hero on Facebook. Know of any other interesting and weird game deaths? Then please tell us about them in the comments below, because we do try to read pretty much everything. Now would also be a great time to encourage you to subscribe, because we upload new stuff all of the time, so subscribing will keep you up to date with all of our latest videos. You can also check out fraghero.com for more gaming related articles, but until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.